and try again.
To another edition of Resources for Life TV at resourcesforlife.com. My name's Greg Johnson, and this is a brief video. Today is Saturday, July 17th, 2010, and yesterday, on Friday, the 16th of July, Steve Jobs had a public, well, I guess it wasn't public, but it was a press conference that was eventually made public. His presentation is available on the Apple website, and it was about the iPhone 4 reception issue. They've also, Apple has a more concise presentation of the information available on the Apple website in a single page. That basically on this web page and in the press announcement that Steve made, they basically outline everything that I had outlined 2 weeks ago regarding the iPhone 4 and the metal external antenna array. I think they probably did a better job than I did, so you should go check out the press conference. But basically, the point I was making 2 weeks ago is that this story, this news story about the Apple iPhone 4 having reception issues, is basically just a hoax. I don't mean that there's no problem with the reception. Sometimes, the bar does go down a little bit depending on how you're holding the phone. But what I mean by the story being a hoax is that, the iPhone 3GS did the same thing, and then there are a bunch of other products out on the market, both mobile phones as well as other, radio type devices that receive or transmit or both transceivers. It's just the nature of radio transmission. So, for Apple to get singled out and everybody saying like, oh, their phone has problems when you touch it the wrong way. It's like saying, the iPhone 4 will fall if you let go of it. It's bound by the laws of gravity. Anyway, but Steve did a very eloquent job in presenting these issues. And what I forgot really in my article about the iPhone 4 reception issue is that there are many people, sorry about the extreme backlighting, this is partly just a test of the iPhone 4 video. You'll notice I'm doing this in portrait mode rather than landscape, and I'm using the camera on the phone that is facing me rather than the one that's facing away. It does let me see what the lighting adjustments are. How well, it lets me see how well the phone is doing with the background light, and it's actually doing pretty well. Okay, anyway, sorry about that distraction. Anyway, Steve Jobs did a good job of presenting this, and what I forgot in my article really was that some things that seem obvious to me, having grown up in the 1970s and 1980s and having played around a lot with CB radios and AM/FM portable radios, a lot of technology that just doesn't exist anymore, is that, I was introduced over 20, 30 years to radio technology as just part of my life. And even on cars, you have the antenna on a car, and if it's not extended, that the reception isn't that good. Well, all that stuff is outdated. I can't presume that people are going to know about, car antennas, or even, it's like presuming that people know about records, LPs, So having grown up with radio technology, it seemed obvious to me that, yes, of course, the iPhone would be just like any other phone or radio device, and, if you'd hold it the wrong way, that might have an impact on the reception. But what Apple's done is, because they are so visible and they do have the biggest market share, and they're coming out with essentially what people feel are the best products on the market today, they felt that it was prudent to go ahead and just, explain how the technology works and show people that this is an issue with you know, they're staying focused on mobile phones. You could probably bring in other devices as well, but you know, it's a common issue. And so I think it's good. I think it's going to help consumers become a little more educated about how mobile wireless devices work and how reception issues can play a factor when you're holding a device the wrong way. But of course, anymore with so many Bluetooth headsets and people using speakerphone, and you know, people aren't really holding the phone to their head anymore when they're driving. A lot of people are using headsets of some kind, or even just headphones. With that being the case, a lot of people just aren't touching their phones anymore. They're not holding the phones anymore. There's limited data regarding the effects of mobile devices and possibly you know, having an adverse effect on the body. But to the extent that is a concern, people are trying not to, you know, be as close to their mobile devices if they're worried about the RF, you know, emissions. But anyway, long story short, basically, I think Steve Jobs did a really good job at presenting this information, and hopefully it'll get people informed and we can move ahead. I think the iPhone 4 is great. I've not really had any issues with the reception, unless I, you know, tried to duplicate the problem, and that's fairly easy to do, but it's also easy to avoid. So I don't have a case yet. I ordered the bumpers. They're okay. I like them actually, but I want something a little bit more rugged because I do these videos while I'm riding the bicycle, and so I want to make sure that the phone's going to be a little more protected. But the bumper, I think, is probably fine for most people. Oh, the other big thing I thought was a nice gesture on Apple's part is what I wrote in my article, which I thought was going to be like obvious to people, is that, you know, you're going to want a case for the phone, as you do with iPods and other devices, just to protect them. And consumers have choices available, and people do like to pick their favorite color and style and manufacturer. So I think Apple made a smart move in that sense, not to limit consumers by saying, hey, this is what the case is going to be. You know, they offered something. If people want that, they can go with that. But anyway, what Apple's saying is, look, we're going to pay for a case. Either you can have our bumper for free, or we're going to pick some other manufacturers and make some cases available. So that's nice. You know, I think it seemed to me pretty obvious that most mobile devices should have some protection in case a case available. Not so much as an option, but mandatory, you know, but that's normally left up to the consumer. But in this case, Apple's going to go ahead and take care of that. So I'm going to wait for now, since the phone works fine and I'm trying to be pretty careful with it. I'm going to wait and maybe see what the free cases are that are offered, or just buy one. It's not even that expensive, you know, it's like $15 to $30, you can get a pretty good case. So I'm guessing they're going to take a hit. You know, they've sold 1 million phones, so what is that, you know, $13 million to $30 million in cases. But that's cool, you know. The phone's pretty cheap, $200, so can't complain about that. Still got some money left over to buy a case if you need to. So, but for those who want to take advantage of the special offer, you can do that. So I'm going to try to get video of this amazing red bird over here, but I don't think I can do it. Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in, and I hope if you have an iPhone 4, you're enjoying it. If you don't, maybe you can consider one. You can go to Best Buy or an Apple store and check it out. But it's pretty cool. I really like the camera feature and the video and everything else. Really nice display and stuff too. So, all right, hey, take care.
Please hang up and try again.